Hello everybody, it's good looking Pete on his own at the moment on Poppit 2. We just come down because Alan sold it. We've had a look around it, everything seems okay. It's been here about 4 months on its own. A lot of bird crap all over, that's about all it needs doing, cleaning. So if you're going to leave your boat for a long time, I'm going to take you around with the other camera. This is a camera. This is the camera we normally use, the little Sony, which has stood us in good stead over the years. But it's starting to get a bit beaten now. This actually fell off the roof of the car at 70 miles an hour, so it's done very well. It is an action camera. The one I'm filming on now, as you can see, is a Fujifilm. What is it? HS20, which is a decent, supposedly a decent camera. We'll find out when I edit this film, see if it's any good. So I'm filming the Fujifilm with the Sony. This is a Sony forgot what model. It's HDR AS30W. Like I say, I actually do like this camera because you can move it around, and I think it's got a very good picture. Very windy day today. I don't know if the sound will be any good. It will be at the moment because I'm not facing the wind. But very windy day at Conwy. We've left it a bit late for us to go out. We wanted to go on a quick trip today. But I'll take you around Alan's boat, the one he sold now. See what it's like inside. It's a little bit clearer now. Toilet's under there. Sink, cooker. Nice little boat inside, nice and clean. The engine took a few pulls because it's been about, I'd say about 4 months now. But we'll see how it goes now. Well, one pull wasn't bad, but it did take about 6 to 10 pulls before, because the petrol settles over the months. You really should run it out. Next time we do it, we just run out of fuel totally. So we won't have any stale fuel in the car. But very good engine, 7.5 horsepower. I'll rev it to show you. And it really does pull. You can feel it, well you might see it on the camera, the boat does move when you do that. Everything else on boat's alright. Mooring straps are perfectly alright. A lot of bird crap on the mast, on the sail cover. Sails are alright. Now we're on with the boat. Solar panels been working away. That's the one thing to get, solar panels. Well, what I was going to tell you, I'll turn this one off now. And we've seen enough of this one. Yeah, very good camera, this little Sony. Lasts about 3 hours on the battery. And it's 60 frames per second. Whereas the one now is only 30 frames, so I might not be as good looking on this video. Just gonna have a coffee. What I was going to tell you was when you put the boat for sale, we were getting some strange questions, like on eBay. Like, as the boat, I'll try getting out of the wind. There seems to be a lot of wind here. Has the boat got a safety certificate? Well, the only time I've heard of having safety certificates is on canal boats, which is typically for the pipe work for the gas cookers and things like that. On a boat, you don't need, as far as I know, you don't need a safety certificate, because the gas bottle is actually outside the cabin in a locker at the back that's vented to the outside, so if you do get a leak, it's going out the back anyway, and it's not going to make the boat explode. As long as you've actually got all the stuff on the boat, which is, on our case, we've actually got a fixed radio, we've got a handheld radio, we've got flares, we've got tons of life jackets. Not on this one, we haven't got a life raft on this, but on the Lady Ellen we've actually got a life raft. What I'm trying to say is, there's a lot of people thinking of buying boats, and there's a lot of questions you could tell that they were first timers, which is nothing wrong with that. But when you're buying a boat, you're actually buying a boat, you're not buying a car. These things you can't just park up at the side of the road and walk away. You can't just leave here and walk away. No, typically they would be fixed to a swinging mooring. Now I'll do a film in a second. We're actually out in the middle of the harbour here. We've got 1,000 yards each way before we get to land. Swinging mooring is fixed to the bottom obviously, and we're fixed to that, and we swing round with it, which is perfectly alright. Me being a first timer about 2 years ago, I wouldn't have said this was the best. Let me come out the wind again. I wouldn't have said this was the best thing to have, a swinging mooring, but it turns out that yeah, swinging moorings in my case, and Alan's, both Alan's, swinging mooring is the best thing. Simple reason is when we want to go out to sea now, we just unhitch the mooring strap at the front of the boat, and we're free. So at that stage you can either put the sails up, start the engine, or whichever you want, and go out to sea. And obviously coming back, there's nothing to hit. First timers have got to understand this. You're not going to be experts straight away. So I wouldn't advise you being in the harbour, at the harbour wall, or even the pontoons. The pontoons are quite close together here. And if anything does go wrong, which they can, and they did go wrong with us at the start. We had one where a gear linkage fell off while we was trying to get on a pontoon, and the gear linkage fell off in reverse, which is probably the worst thing you could have. So new people to a boat, and the only way they can actually do is reverse. Now forget reverse. Reverse isn't reverse on a boat like it is on a car. Everything's backwards to you, by the way that the propeller's turning at the time, and whichever way you've got the tiller going. So I'd advise any first timers, if they can, get a swinging mooring, practice out here. You're not going to cause any trouble, you're not going to hit anybody, very rarely you would hit anybody, and if you can do a runner. That's why I've said going into marinas are nice places, but there's not a lot of room in there, and if you're going to hit anything in there, especially under the marinas just facing me now, 500 yards away, some of the boats are £500,000 there. Now you don't really want to be smashing into somebody's pride and joy with your £1,000 boat and putting a big gouge down the side, and there's plenty of cameras in there as well, so watch out. It's exactly like someone learning in a car. Your best place is to go to a nice quiet road or a nice country lane and learn the basics there before going out on the main roads and motorways. That's why they don't take learners up to now on motorways, because they can be very dangerous places, especially for learners. Not a place to make mistakes. Out here you can make any mistakes you want. Just go round in a circle, come back again. Make a mistake, go around in another. You can spend as long as you want. As long as you've got fuel in it, you can spend as long as you want. But it's up to you. I mean, like I say, the pontoons here at Conwy, it's a bit like parking a car in a parking space in a car park. If the people next to you have not left you a lot of room, you'll find it very hard. Obviously parking in a car park that's got no cars in it's very easy, but not all car parks are like that. So like I say, my advice is go for the swinging mooring at first. Get your sea legs, if you get your sea legs, and see how you go from there. We'll see how this camera goes. I'm going to take a trip round. The wind is coming up. It's about 30, 40 mile an hour at the moment, the wind. We'll see how the sound goes on this one. But I hope this has been a bit of help to new timers. If you need any advice, ask us. If we don't know it, we'll research it. I'll tell you where you can research it. Well, it's a lovely day at Conwy, except for the wind.